Good evening, everyone. If you don't know, you should know. My name is Rameez and I am a filmmaker and a film critic. And do you guys smell that? That's the smell of an uncrowned Oscar contender, Oscar winner in my opinion. This is the review of Spotlight.
I'm not crazy. They control everything.
This is not just Boston. It's a whole country. It's a whole world.
They knew, and they let it happen. It could have been you. It could have been me. It could have been any of us.
Spotlight is a film directed by Tom McCarthy. You might have not heard of this director, but this director makes very humane films. He's directed 5 films in total, them being The Station Agent, Win-Win, The Visitor, Spotlight, and The Cobbler. I've seen 4 of his films: Win-Win, Station Agent, The Visitor, and now Spotlight. I didn't see The Cobbler for obvious reasons. Enough said. His movies tell us stories of fractured relationships and world perception. Spotlight is a film based on real events. It takes place in 2001 in the city of Boston. And let me just get this out of the way. It seems like setting your movie in Boston is kind of giving yourself a path to success, as just setting your film there happens to give you a good movie. I mean, just look at the film set in Boston: The Departed, The Fighter, The Drop, The Town, Gone Baby Gone, Good Will Hunting. Am I missing any? Anyway, the film stars Michael Keaton as the head of the Spotlight team. The Spotlight team is kind of this secret organization in the Boston Globe, and the team consists of an all-star cast, including Mark Ruffalo, Rachel McAdams, and Brian Darcy James. And that's not just it for the all-star cast. These guys report to Liv Schreiber and John Slattery from Mad Men. I loved everyone's performance in this film, man, and I'm really glad to see Rachel McAdams doing some serious work apart from just chick flicks. She brings this sense of honesty and fragility into the film, as she's the only female in the Spotlight team, and kudos to the screenwriting team as she carries her weight pretty well. Mark Ruffalo gets the best scene of the film, and Liv Schreiber and Michael Keaton are the experienced players on this team. The only thing I can say about Liv Schreiber's performance, by the way, I love Liv Schreiber and I saw Pawn Sacrifice, I'm reviewing that soon as well. Liv Schreiber plays this out as if Jeff Goldblum was a good actor. He has the uhs and ums in his delivery, but unlike Jeff Goldblum, this character is confident. Finally, Michael Keaton, who was robbed last year at the Oscars. You would really have to watch Michael Keaton's face in this film. You can see and feel him holding back his anger in that wrinkly face of his, and he's holding back because of the case and because of what he does. You get this sense of if Michael Keaton wasn't a journalist, he would totally take things into his own hands, possibly as Batman. But what are these guys investigating? I love films about investigative journalism. I think they play out much better than an action detective story, because in a detective story, which happens to be an action movie, you have the luxury of action. In just an investigative detective story, you have to rely on writing, and the writing needs to be exceptional for these type of films to work. This film reminds me of 3 great films: All the President's Men, State of Play, and Zero Dark 30. It has the characters of the first 2 films, All the President's Men and State of Play, and it has the weight and story of Zero Dark 30. Liv Schreiber is the new head of the Boston Globe. He plays Marty Baron, and he assigns the Spotlight team to report on a underreported story of priests and pedophilia. It takes a lot of balls to make a film like this, man. Hell, it took a lot of balls for the Spotlight team to write this story back in 2001, given how powerful the church is everywhere. It opens up a web of webs and shows us how unbelievably hidden all this stuff is, and it shows us the brainwashing that religion can do, and the hypocrisy as well. I mean, how the fuck can you be a priest and molest people at the same time? That is just, it makes no sense. It's just hypocrisy at its finest. I can guarantee you that no religious book, the Quran or the Bible, or any religious person, be it a priest, an imam, or a rabbi, says that molestation is okay, especially of kids. It's just hypocrisy. But this film, to a certain extent, kind of explores that and shows that even the priests who do these terrible wanton acts are not completely aware of what they're doing, and they're not completely given guidance to what they're doing. The power of this film comes from the confession scenes of the victims. The writing in those scenes is absolutely spectacular because we're not given any visual aids to see that event happening. There's no flashback. They just rely on the acting and the dialogue that the victims are saying. One of those scenes is a man, a grown-up man, about 30. He's sitting and giving his confession to Mark Ruffalo as he had just bought a cone of ice cream. And he continues the story by saying, oh, the priest started touching me down there and all that stuff, and he was petrified. He ends the story by saying, you know, I didn't even touch my ice cream, it just melted down my arm. It's such a powerful line, and its productive scene progression. You introduce the image of an ice cream, which is such an innocent image, and it gives you happiness. Just thinking about ice cream makes you happy. And the fact that ice cream is melting down your arm, you didn't even get to touch the ice cream, is an absolutely terrifying image when you put it into context with the story the guy's telling. Phenomenal stuff, man. This film will get nominations for Best Direction, Best Picture, and a couple of acting nominations as well. This film pissed me off and made me proud at the same time for the work that the Spotlight team did. Mind you, I didn't even know about this movie until a couple days ago. I didn't even know that this was a real story. And it's worth noting that the Spotlight team won a Pulitzer Prize for reporting on this story. How does this information slip past me? Why wasn't this story shown more on television? I might have an answer. It could be the Catholic Church. After all, the church did classify public records in this film and in real life. So I'm no conspiracy theorist, but my theory couldn't be as far-fetched as you're thinking. 5 out of 5 for Spotlight. This is a masterpiece of a film. It makes you question stuff, and it makes you proud of the work that the Spotlight team did, and it makes you proud to be a human. Thanks for watching, everyone. What did you think of Spotlight? Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free to hit. Free! It's a great word. And finally, remember to love yourselves, and please, be careful. Thank you very much.